in an upstairs bedroom on Vincennes Avenue in Oakdale, Pennsylvania. August the 4th, 1920.
Do we have any pictures and stuff of that first house?
I
No?
don't think so.
No photos.
I think John found it when they went through there. He always thought that I was born in Harrisburg until about 2 years ago I discovered that he thought, and I've never been to Harrisburg. But anyway.
And how old
So
were
I
you when you moved to Pittman then?
That's my first recollection, is the move. I was 3 years old because it was in January and February that we moved to Pittman. And I can remember the house wasn't finished. It never was finished. We moved into it. Well, anyway, we stayed with a lady in Philadelphia, and Dad went to work, and the four of us kids were there, and Mother. Kind of I just remember eating there, but I was 3, because that year I didn't turn 4 until August. And then the move on the train with whatever belongings we had, and the builder was very neglectful. He hadn't gotten around to the wallpaper. It took him years to do that, and he never insulated the house. So it was, even when Dad and I went back, when John was 15 months old, it still hadn't been insulated. And we had a coal furnace, so Dad was always shoveling coal, and the only time we had hot water was when that furnace was going in the winter.
So you took cold showers all summer long? Is that what you're saying?
No,
That's
we
roughing it.
were
Cold baths.
We were raised on just sponge baths, because otherwise Mother had to, in the kitchen, had to heat the water and carry it up the stairs to the bathroom so that we could have some hot water, but which she very often did. She did that also, heating it to go down and do her washing in the basement. Out here they say basements. It was cellars. We always called them cellars. C-E-L-L-A-R, I guess. Anyway.
Did she finally put her foot down?
She finally, I told you about that. Oh, when we were getting into high school, my brother and I were by then we're in the same grade. He was 12 months older, and he had been sick. And I remember my mother ordered this hot water heater. I remember when Dad came home, she said, "I put my foot down." And I remember, well, she said that to us. I put my foot down. She wasn't going to heat any more water to go downstairs and upstairs.
What year about?
Well, we
high school.
Already going into high school. So
That's roughing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's really roughing it. And we think about camping or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, when Dad and I went back, Dad had to. It was so cold. It was November, and
It's okay, keep going.
Okay.
yeah, it was November because we had to. He was in the fertilizer business by that time, and we had to wait till the people paid their fertilizer bills before we could make the trip back there. And he had to roll himself up in a couple of blankets in order to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was so cold. Then I don't think the house ever did get insulated.
How can you live back there without insulation?
Yeah, with snow and zero. When I
bet how snow never accumulated on the roof, though. Because the heat in the house that was in the house would
Yeah.
have melted everything
you're right,
all the
you're
time.
right. Yeah, yeah. But it was a wonderful town.
And she could walk
Pittman, New Jersey.
Pittman,
Yeah.
New Jersey, and you could walk downtown to go to the
Oh.
movies.
Yeah.
How far away was your school? Did you have to walk to school and stuff?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I don't remember kindergarten. Maybe we went right directly into first grade. But it was just we walked to elementary school. We walked to we went to a different school for junior high and then to high school. Walked everything.
And how many brothers
No.
and sisters did you have?
I was the youngest, and my brother 12 months older, and then we had my parents had lost a little girl, and Elsie was next, and Clara the oldest.
Were you all like walking to the same school at the same time?
Oh no,
Yeah,
because they were
How much
so much
older?
older. They
Oh,
were
okay.
8 and 10 years older than
Oh, okay.
John and me.
So you and John basically hung out all
Yeah.
the time together,
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah,
to schools and everything else.
yeah. But we could walk to the train. We never had a car because we had my dad had passes for us on the train. So that's how I happened to. I came out to California on a pass. Yeah. So, this is awful.
No, it's
I'm gonna put it on
not.
pause for.
Okay.
He can
Yeah.
edit out. He can edit out.
Oh
any of
well,
the crying.
edit that part out.
Yeah.
Yes, I will be out.
Okay.
That's fine.
But
Yeah, we can just pause for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want
Yeah.
to-
Think about the next.
Where's the tissue? A box of
Do
tissue?
we have a box of tissue?
I have a Kleenex.
Now,
I have
I
it,
had a
yeah.
question
There it
on
is,
your.
right there.
Are you getting all three of us in the frame?
Yeah,
Okay, good idea.
yeah, got it.
Yeah.
So the main frame has all of us.
Right.
Okay.
Take your time.
Okay, let's use it too.
We
We
have to
take
have it
our
sitting
iced
here.
tea break, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't even have your first iced tea.
Right, well,
You just have water.
Water.
unless you have some iced tea floating around.
I can make iced tea. Would you want me to-
Easily?
Yeah.
Easily?
Yeah. Be right back.
Okay, well. So how's it sounding?
It sounds good.
Okay.
It sounds real good.
Be sure to tell AJ what's going on, Lou.
No, he can erupt. That's fine.
It'd be hard to edit some of that out, like that out. At least we don't have our children talking to us the whole
Yes.
time. We can put them in the van, yeah.
Yes, we can.
Which is one reason we have canines instead of humans.
But they cannot take care of us.
No, they
No.
can't take care of us when we're older at all.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, they can't get your tea for you.
You know, they can't get your tea.
No.
And they can't haul the stuff to the agility trial.
Will Terry be there soon? Or
He's
has he already-
he's supposed to be driving down on Thursday.
Oh.
Not to, no,
Oh.
Thursday?
Sunday, today.
Today. He's supposed to be driving down today, so
Oh.
he'll be there for several days.
Is he very responsible about locking the door and
Oh,
all
yeah.
that stuff?
Yeah.
Well, especially after living in Modesto.
Oh,
He's
that's right.
Definitely,
Wow.
definitely responsible about security. Right?
It's funny when they were talking last week or so about the worst towns for foreclosures. I think Modesto was up on top
Really? For foreclosures?
for foreclosures. Yeah.
Mm.
So
People having that tough a time. You're not getting that in
No.
the frame, in any of the frames.
Nope.
Okay. Just wondered. We probably don't need it there now that we've moved the table back.
why am I the only one who bumps into the
No,
thing?
I
now?
bumped into it.
Did you?
I have to. I get it with my shoulder right about there. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I've got it a few times with my shoulder.
Yeah.
Especially when I was wearing the jacket. I was getting the jacket caught on the decorations. You know, the
gosh.
hood. That
Yeah.
I walked by the hood.
Oh gosh. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that round table is out there in the barn, and
This is fine. It's working.
Is this good?
out
Yeah.
just fine.
Where should we put that? Right. How about on the seat beside you?
Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
Water.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got
Okay.
it.
Where are we
yeah.
going to next?
Do you
Where-
remember your first trip to California? How old
Wait a
you were?
second. Wait a second.
My first,
You got everything turned on, right?
Yeah.
You want to clap it again?
my
Nope,
first,
don't
No.
need to.
my first trip.
Yeah, the
Was
first
when
trip
I
to
met
California.
Dad.
Yeah, but why'd you come to California?
Well, I had my mother and her sister, Aunt Mabel, communicated by letter and all, and they'd send pictures back and forth. So I just got so thinking about that about,
And having hot water,
oh, well. But,
warm weather.
yeah, but at one time when Clara and Elsie were little and the baby Mary, my mother was very anemic and very weak, and the doctor recommended that if there was some warm place to go. So anyway, Dad got passes, and they spent the winter with Aunt Mabel in California. And Clara and Elsie remembered quite a bit about that. And but that's when Mary got pneumonia on the way home. Because my dad was so lonesome that he just he cut the trip short, kind of. So he always blamed himself.
I'll stop the camera.
Good grief. Okay.
You want me to use remotes?
Okay, I'll be all right in a second. I'll be all right in a second. Yeah, get a drink of something.
Yeah, I heard that. Dad always blamed himself. Your dad
Yeah.
did.
And that's why it isn't.
No, it's not right.
That's why he was overly cautious all our lives of no bicycle, you might get hurt. No ice skates, you might get drowned. You might.
Yeah.
But anyway, we did have roller skates. I guess he didn't figure.
Well, I thought you were good at ice skating. Is that something you picked up
No,
later?
roller skating.
Roller skating.
Yeah, I
Very
picked
good.
that up when I in high school, and I really enjoyed the roller skating rink. It cost probably 25 cents to go and skate, and I remember I babysat enough to buy the skates, and I didn't save them. I gave them when we lived in Merced. I gave them to a lady for her granddaughter, but they were the nice white ones with the rollers on them.
No, not the kind that you just clamp on your foot.
No,
No, we're
no.
real roller skates.
Real
yeah.
roll. Well, the
With
clamp
boots,
kind.
the boots and everything.
Yeah, yeah, the clamp kind. Of course, my brother and I could go all over town in those. I'd go to the store for my mother and on roller skates and bring.
Now they do it on skateboards.
And
Yeah.
skateboards and stuff.
Yeah.
I know. See, that's where he gets it from.
Yeah.
It amazes me that you can go
Tell us more.
uphill on a skateboard or roller skates.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
really. Tell us more about John, your brother.
Oh. Well, we grew up like twins. Everyone thought we were twins because I got a little bit taller, but not taller than him, but just, maybe I did. But anyway, people would, the twins. And then when he was in the same grade.
Was he was born like early in the year? You were late in the year or something like that? So how are you in the
we
same
were
grade?
12 months and 10 days apart. He was July and I was August.
But you were still in the same grade?
After he was sick, he had to have tonsils out, tonsils and
So he
adenoids
missed a
and-
year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but we were buddies.
Very close. Tell us more about Mom putting her foot down about the music, though.
Oh,
Remember that?
Yeah. I think it must have been in seventh or eighth grade. John, my brother, wanted to play a horn.
The original Hobo Band of Pittman, New Jersey is an internationally renowned brass band donning the garments of the American hobo. The original Hobo Band was formed in 1946 when a group of returning veterans from World War II realized their old cedar chip band uniforms no longer fit. Since there was no money for new uniforms, they adopted the wardrobe of the American hobo as their official uniform. The original Hobo Band is unique and will attract attention to any event through their non-conventional dress and lively music.
can't afford it. And I heard that so many times in my life, even though my dad was a darling. But anyway, my mother realized that he had musical talent. So she said, well, she used that term, I put my foot down. I put my foot down. He's going to have a horn. So somehow they got the clarinet. I think it was a lot later that he got a saxophone, but
Clarinet and sax are,
yeah.
you know, speaking from experience, you know,
Yeah.
pretty transform. You know, you can really
Yeah.
do both. If you
Yeah.
know one, you know the other one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he played his whole life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he played his
But
whole life.
how did your parents feel in general about education and?
Well,
And-
back to John. It was his whole life,
Mhm.
Yeah.
music. And even at his funeral, the hobos played, the hobo band that he had been in. But I still think he died because he was trying so hard to take care of his wife that he just made himself, he just lost his health over taking care of her and not telling people. He wasn't telling people how hard he had a time he had.
And that he didn't feel well. I mean,
No,
wasn't
he
sure, you know,
has
they were-
such great humor. I mean,
Yeah.
when he talked to us about her waterworks,
Yeah,
he was talking about the
Right.
fact that she couldn't hold her bladder anymore.
Yeah.
And
he was washing sheets and
Right.
blankets every morning.
Right.
every day.
Every day because she had no control, even with all those what do you call them,
Diapers,
things?
yeah.
Diapers. And when we went to visit, Lucy and I went in the bathroom. Here's a whole tall wastebasket of diapers, used diapers. Oh dear. But anyway, well, going back to my first trip to California, I thought about that trip that they made, and they talked about it so much, and Aunt Mabel's letters, and my sisters got a wristwatch when they graduated from high school, and I said, had always thought about California, and I said, Dad, instead of a wristwatch, could you get me a pass to California to visit Aunt Mabel? And so he thought about it a while. It didn't cost him anything.
Right.
He could get this pass through the Pennsylvania Railroad. They also gave the pass through the, let's see, was it Atchison, Topito, and Santa Fe, maybe. The other railroads. I had to sit up, though, the whole way. They didn't take
No-
care of, they
no-
didn't pay
no,
for they didn't pay
What
for
do
that.
they call that kind of car?
Sleeper
The
car.
sleeper cars. Yeah.
No berths.
No
And it was
berths, okay.
second rate trains, but they'd give you a beautiful pillow and the seats sometimes
Reclined a little bit, like
reclined.
the
So
sort of like
it
the
was-
airline seat.
Well,
reclined.
a straight seat, two of them, and one of them would go back a little. Anyway, it wasn't that bad. And so I made the trip out there, and it was good for 2 months, that
The
trip.
pass.
I didn't intend to stay that long, but I was 17 when I graduated from high school, and I couldn't go until July because I was helping. I had promised to help with the daily vacation Bible school, so I did that, doing their printing on. We printed on this gel. I had to print all this stuff on this gel that
And
was
then it
all
could be
purple.
duplicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it could be duplicated.
Yeah, purple hands
Oh,
I had
yeah.
from that. But
It's
anyway,
called mimeograph. I believe it was called a mimeograph.
Mimeograph, yeah.
Machine. Yes.
But
I remember
anyway,
that in high school.
Yeah.
Even they were still using it in high
Really?
school. Yeah, they had put the pages that would come out. You'd have this gel stuff, and you put it on this big roller, and this roll thing,
Yeah.
and you would type once on the gel or whatever, and
Yeah.
then you'd roll the machine, and the ink that would come out or the paper that would come out was purplish blue.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And it would
Okay.
get all over your
Get all
hands.
over
It would
everything,
take, but anyway.
Probably
so
not
it
real
was,
healthy for you either.
So you got into printing too. Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I got my desire to print.
yeah. So it was July then, after the Bible school was finished, that I could go, and that was good until October 1st. But I didn't think I was going to stay that long. But Aunt Mabel was alone so much because her husband was with the Railway Express agency, and he traveled around with the race horses somehow.
Oh, okay.
The Railway Express agency. So
Moving horses from track to track, that type
Yeah,
of thing.
uh-huh.
Okay.
So he was gone an awful lot. So I was her buddy. She loved having me there. Just to go to 25-cent movies, or anyway, it didn't cost much. And the buses we went on buses for 5 cents or something. But anyway, then I had my 18th birthday, and exactly a week later, my cousin Ramona said, would you like to go out on a double date, just to go to the races with us? I have a friend who works at the auto parts company, and he goes to all the races, and he'd like to meet you. And
So car
so
races
forth.
we're talking about.
Car races.
Car races.
Midget,
Car races.
midget auto races.
Midget
At
auto
Gilmore
races.
Stadium in Hollywood.
That sounds like a Google search to me. I wonder if I bet there's pictures out there.
Yeah, it's not there
Yeah.
anymore though, because
No, but I bet there's
CBS
pictures.
Studios I think has been built.
It became the studios
Right,
later.
but I bet there's old photos
Oh,
on the
yeah.
web.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So he had a DeSoto, kind of rust-colored, gorgeous, with chrome all over it, a DeSoto coupe, which would be a terrific classic right now.
But
But
Jay
that's
Leno has one now.
yeah. But
We found out later that Ramona actually did own a race car at some point.
Really?
yeah,
Yeah,
we found it in her things
that she had paid and bought a race car
yeah.
to race at that
Yeah.
same
Well,
Gilmore.
Dad
Stadium.
in Merced was doing that too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But so what
number
was
81.
Dad's relationship to Ramona, or is it just
They knew each other from the
they
auto
just knew
parts
each other?
store.
Just
Okay.
knew. Well,
Okay.
actually, her boyfriend worked at a body shop
Mhm.
and got a lot of auto parts from Emory at the. He was just a clerk.
Mhm.
He was $40 a month, I think he made, and when we were married,
Mhm.
and then he went and got a little. Because he was married, he applied for a little bit more money, but anyway.
When I got my
So
job
how-
at the phone company, Dad said, "You're making more in a week than I did in a month when I married your mom."
And now I make more in a day. Actually, I make
Yes.
more in an hour almost right now
Than he did in
than he did in a month,
Exactly, yeah.
literally.
That's gosh. But anyway, I just got in the car with him, and
This was
And
your
we-
first date.
first date, and we just rode over to the track and went to the dirt. It was dirt then, and it was flying at you all the time. You'd have to kind of duck.
So of course he was he had you sitting on a curve where it was really exciting. You know, but he still had dirt in your face, God. So.
Oh, but and I enjoyed it a lot. But he had been taking his niece and nephew to those races. So that particular night, their dad, I mean, they didn't want to miss the races, and they were just 8 and 10 years old. So Vane, their dad, took them, and they sat behind us. So I met Jim and Luann
Okay.
on that first date with Dad.
That's so
And
neat.
Jim and Luann, Jim Hall.
Jim
Yeah,
Hall,
uh-huh.
who's exactly
His-
10 years younger than
Yeah.
her.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
but those were his only Dad's only niece and nephew were Jim and Luann
Jim
Hall.
and Luann, right.
Yeah. But
And
anyway,
Dad told me once that he knew he was going to marry you on that first date when he put his hand on your knee and you jumped almost right through the roof of the car. He said, I could do that with my Hollywood dates, but I touched her and she went, ah! And he said, I knew right then and there I was going to marry her.
well, I didn't make up my mind then, but it was a kind of a long drive from, he lived with Louis, his sister. He rented a room and bath from his sister, so at that house.
we
that
had.
same house, yeah. And it was quite a drive from there to pick me up and then go back to the what stadium?
The Gilmore Stadium.
Gilmore Stadium. But anyway, but so we had just a lot of dates and just really enjoyed each other so much. But I didn't want to think about marriage at that age. My gosh, I was just dating and enjoying going
You're
out
talking
with.
that one. That's
Yeah,
the house.
that's it.
That's where you first
That's
lived.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, but they, I never saw it though.
Until you moved into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think I was there and visited. No,
Yeah, Luann and Jim lived there, right?
yeah, but I don't think I saw it before because I met them at the races.
And
But
this
anyway.
was this car that you found the pictures of, was that his first car after you were married, or?
Oh no, the first one after we were married. Oh, he had that, and then I have another picture of a very classic car that he had, but it was only two people, a coupe, and so when I came back in 1940 to make up my mind whether I mean he wanted me to marry him, and I couldn't.
So how many years in between your
2
first
years.
visit? 2 years in between. Okay.
2 years we wrote letters.
You have any
And-
copies of those letters at all? Still?
I don't think so. But anyway, we, he even, one date was to the night court. He took me he thought that was very interesting.
Okay, he had a weird sense of humor. We have to do that, right? Entertainment. What was the subject that night?
I don't remember. I just thought that was, it was very interesting. I thought it was fun. Oh, but he did.
Well, she ended up a legal secretary, so
Yeah, right.
that's
Yeah.
not a
Maybe
bad
that was
date
a
for a
big
legal
deal.
secretary.
Oh gosh. But we just had a great time. So I ended up staying until that pass, right up till October 1st. And Aunt Mabel, of course, wanted me to stay. So she took me down to get my Social Security number. I got it when I was 18 in California.
So
Because
Aunt Mabel was whose sister?
my mother's sister.
Your mother's sister. Okay.
Yeah.
And what had brought her out to California to begin
Oh
with?
goodness, she had been out here for ages. Her husband with the Railway Express was transferred from
Okay,
Pittsburgh to
okay.
there. But oh gosh.
Now,
But I just loved being with Aunt Mabel. I mean, she just treated me like another daughter. And,
But Ramona didn't live at home at that time, right? No, the girls were at home or not?
Oh, well, I met Frances at some time. There was another girl who raised the Great Pyrenees dogs. I don't know if I ever mentioned. I do
No,
have
I
a
didn't know
picture
that.
of her, but I
I
was
know what Great Pyrenees look like.
Yeah, she was raising them, but Ramona, I don't know. She worked at the studios, and that's how she got all these.
We need to
Sure,
take some
yeah.
pictures of some of those.
Yeah.
Oh,
Scan some of those prints with the signatures on them
Yeah.
before we leave.
Well, it would sometime. Perhaps we should see about eBay as far as those, or else we found a book not too long ago that has all about autographs. It was an antique. It's a recent, very recent book. And
Gives you an idea
it
of what they're
tell-
worth.
It tells who to see,
Who to contact.
who to contact when you have something like that. But I
There's
think
probably organized, organized
Yeah.
groups that do
Yeah,
nothing but, you know.
Yeah, but hers are more valuable because they say to Ramona. Ramona, and signed. So many of them are. Where a lot
Of
of
are
a lot
generic.
of people have ones that just have a signature and they're fakes or repros or
Right,
something.
yeah. Well,
But,
some of the ones like at DZ Aiken's, at that restaurant we go to, say to so-and-so at DZ Aiken's,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then a signature on them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
what a great restaurant, and a signature or something like that. Yeah.
yeah,
And a lot of them are just somebody's, you know, what do you call it? Their promo picture, with a
Standard.
signature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No, these are
yeah,
neat.
yeah. But so I only really dated him less than 2 months, and
Each
we wrote,
time?
Huh?
Each time you stayed for
No.
2 months?
Oh, not each time. No, I only had no.
It is. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
I better,
Somebody has to answer it though.
yeah.
yeah.
It's probably Roxy.
Oh,
I'll put this on hold.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get some more. You want some water, something more to drink?
Yeah.
Mom, you want some water?
oh yeah, just a little, but just faucet water.
Faucet water.
That little teeny glass that's sitting right on the counter.
Hello, hello.
Hi. How you doing? Sorry. Okay, sounds great. We'll see you then.
This was your high school graduation?
No, that was no. My graduation thing is over there, along with yours, I think. Your
Have we taken a picture of that, or have we scanned it?
oh, it was a funny picture.
Well,
This
just like
was-
mine. Mine was
This
pretty funny too.
Emery wanted a picture of me, so I was a legal secretary. And on my way home one day, I stopped by a photographer on the street and got that taken and
And then they
sent to
colorized
him.
it too. So this was about,
Well, I think I was 19 then, so that would have been. That would have been 39.
oh, no they aren't. They're little.
Oh, here's
They're
one.
8x10s. They're all 8x10s. They may be mounted, but they're all 8x10s. Yeah.
Okay, I scan them.
Okay, that's my water right there. Can
Yeah.
you reach it?
Yeah.
No. Okay,
Here you go.
thank you. So he framed it. And
okay.
then, of course, I had it hidden, and Lucy found it. I had it sticking in the closet.
These are all the Emery S.
Do you guys want to take a potty break?
I'm okay for a while.
I'm fine. When will they be here?
45 minutes.
Okay, good. We can get. The well, that's what which of the you know, like Daniel and Electa, that's Dad's side of the family, right? Salter, Dad's side of the family, or your side?
That's his mother's sister, or his mother's mother. His mother's mother.
Dad's grandmother.
Yeah, Dad's grandmother.
And then Daniel and Electa.
That's his great grandparents. They were the parents of General Upton and
General.
his grandfather, Henry.
Okay. Aunt Louisa's sister, got that. Henry's mom. Glenwood sketch. These are all. Henry is his dad, right? No,
His grandfather.
Henry. So we don't have any Petticord side of the family history pictures, do we? Old stuff.
I don't think so. There may be
Your
one that I haven't
Parents
gotten
probably
into.
just never collected stuff like that.
Well, it's just that there were 4 kids in the family.
Right, so some of them may have it.
My brother probably has had a lot, and his kids would.
Do you know
have
who?
that.
Oh, okay, so they acquired it then.
Yeah.
I thought the front of this thing was just as interesting as the inside.
Oh.
The front of that little folder that had the tintype in it.
Oh.
It was like, copper, probably copper embossed.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I took a picture of the outside of it.
Yeah.
Detailed, yeah. General information. That picture of Mom, colorized black and white. She stopped on the street. We should probably have her tell a story. She stopped on the street because Dad wanted a picture of her before she left.
Right.
She stopped on the street and had a photographer take the picture, and then she sent it to Dad. And he framed it. He framed it. That's the picture, yeah.
But my hair was, I had been at work all day, and I
Right.
stopped on the way home. So,
And is this your wedding picture?
yeah.
Okay. So we'll tell that story when Lucy gets back. I guess I'll go
Yeah.
potty too.
What?
They're all Upton end,
Upton.
yeah.
Okay.
So all of the old pictures are Upton, but you got interested in that stuff later on. Is that or the Upton?
Oh, yeah.
the Upton
I was,
history stuff.
I was really intrigued. Like that,
But you've got James Fenimore Cooper is on your side.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the relationship there is what?
Grandfather's brother or something.
Any other famous people? Well, we can go to
No.
that. Any other famous
No.
people in the Petticourt end of the family?
Not that I know of, no.
Except you're a DAR on that side too, so everything goes way back, right?
Oh, yeah, it goes way back to the 1600s, and they came to America in the 1600s. So I suppose there could be.
1609.
Have you ever done a family tree going on that side of the family?
No, but some of them in the family have done it, so I should be able to get it
Oh,
from.
that'd be interesting
From
to get the family tree on that
Yeah.
side, and some more
Yeah.
information on that.
yeah.
I can go
But-
potty.
Oh, okay. That General Upton's mask
Yeah, the
there.
mask.
Louise didn't like it. She had the lower
No.
duplex, and we were upper. And Emery had to go down there to do some plumbing, and it was just a small basement, and that thing was in the dirt. And I was flabbergasted to find it there when he told me who it was and so forth. Not that I had ever heard of General Upton at the time, but so he got it out and he took it all apart. It had mold in it, and he just took it completely apart and cleaned all that mold off it and restored the thing, and we hung it up. But it would have been junk.
It would have been destroyed
Yeah,
by the elements.
yeah. By the elements is right.
Where'd you get the other picture?
Oh, now that's it's a pen portrait or something that a relative who was an artist did, and
So that's an original.
oh, it's an original, yeah, original pen. They called it a pen portrait of Emery's grandfather. That's Emery's grandfather, Henry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Henry was the one, actually, he started out with them in that Upton Machine Company in St. Joseph, Missouri, St. Joseph, and that's where the Whirlpool, it went into Whirlpool. But he was a professor. He wanted to teach school, and he left that Upton Machine Company.
Or
But
else
he
we
was-
would be millionaires.
Yeah.
Right?
100 times over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We're on camera.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll review this picture.
Yeah.
Tell us about that photo of you. How did that happen?
Well, I wasn't going to send him my high school graduation one because the one it was kind of a from this side and I didn't like it. So he wanted a picture, and I stopped on. I was working for Mr. Lewis, attorney, and who later became the Chief Justice of the New Jersey Supreme Court. Anyway.
He was a biggie.
Anyway, I stopped on the way from there, in Camden, on the way to the train to go home to Pittman, and just there was a photographer thing. I stopped in and got that picture on the way home from work, and then
Would the guy mail it to you, and then you?
well, I stopped and got it later, and then sent it to Dad. It was just in a folder, and he's the one who framed it. But
Neat.
anyway, so my hair was as it was after a day of work.
Right.
But
Yeah, he's a good photographer, though.
yeah.
I like the fact that it's been tinted.
Tinted, yeah.
So somebody, there was no color film.
No.
So they actually colorized
Yeah.
I had to learn how to do that in
Yeah.
college when I took
Well,
my
I think
photography
that-
classes.
I can't remember. I think the guy just said, "Well, it's we can tint it for a few dollars. It didn't cost much extra." And okay. Well,
Tell us what Dad did about this picture. The only picture you had of your parents.
Oh,
It's just a little
gosh.
5x7.
yeah, just this little thing, and I had it up in the bedroom on a table, and I didn't notice that it disappeared. It just, I had walked past it several times, and it was just kind of hidden there, and what was it, Mother's Day, or it was Mother's Day. Mother's Day came, and he handed me this package, and I opened it. I was flabbergasted. He had stolen that and had it enlarged and framed. And of course, I had it over here for a long time. Do you remember it being right there? But that was so sweet. I just that was the
Where's it?
dearest.
It's in the back there.
Yeah.
We'll get it out and have you take a picture of it for sure.
But that was the dearest thing. But my parents were crazy about Emery. Let's see, going back in, I went back and I got a job first in an insurance office. And then my old teacher from high school called me and said, "I know of a job in Camden for an attorney. I think you'd really enjoy it a lot." And so I went and applied for the job with the attorney. And I liked him so much. He was probably 15 years older than me, is all. But he was a wonderful man. And so I worked there. At the same time, I was dating several different guys. I even went steady with one of them for quite a while. But Dad was writing letters, and he was expecting me. He was expecting me to marry him. That's all. And so when 1940 Labor Day, I decided to get a train ticket. I had to, since I was earning a little bit, I had to pay for it.
Right.
But it ended up my dad helped me to get that ticket, and I still had to sit up. But so I made that trip out and visited Aunt Mabel in September of 1940. And Dad was a very good salesman. He was, yeah.
Not to mention Aunt Belle and Aunt Lucy.
Oh, then he took me to see his he always called them his old maid aunts in Long Beach. Well, I want you to go. We're going to visit my old maid aunts. But anyway, so we drove down there, and they took me over. I mean, that just I don't know. They just
Well, they asked you about your.
yeah,
Lineage.
they were very careful. They are my lineage. All of these things that were important to two people who belonged to the Daughters of the American Revolution, and this.
So your petticord half of the family goes back then.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think it was more the Cooper part that.
Yeah.
Oh, the Cooper part.
The
Yes, the
Cooper
James Vanderbilt Cooper.
Yeah,
There you go.
they were also very high in the WCTU,
Women's temperance.
Women's Christian Temperance Union, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
But anyway, they thought I was something. So,
And that you had relatives who fought in the Revolution.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Daughters of the
So they
American
really
Revolution.
scanned me over, and then his
So you
sister,
got the interview.
Yeah, the interview of a lifetime.
The interview.
he arranged a date with Louise and his sister. I had already met Jim and Luann and
Right.
Vane, but I hadn't met Louise.
Right.
But we just hit it off. She was just like a sister to me. And we went to a movie, and
You remember what movie?
no, I don't. But anyway, Louise and I had a wonderful time. But he was building everything up, and he expected me. He didn't. He just simply.
I told you he decided. He told me he had
He-
decided from the second he put his hand on your knee. So
Well, before I knew it, I was sold, I guess. But I had to go back. I said I can't do this to my parents to just stay now. So I took the train back and had to put it in the newspaper and engagement, and then I wanted to work until the next year, and so the letters came. He didn't want me to wait that long, so
you did
So-
find that letter that Dad wrote your parents
yeah.
Where is that?
Well, that was after
after
I
you'd
was-
been married a little
yeah,
while. But
uh-huh.
he wrote thanking.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
did it? Can you remember what he said in it?
No, because I hadn't seen that for 60 years.
We can scan that.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Basically
know where it's at?
thanking him, thanking
Thanking
them
them.
for her, and what a wonderful daughter she was, and what a wonderful wife she was. He was so grateful
Oh.
to them for.
Yeah.
When did he stop writing things? Because I know when
Once we were married.
once he married, he never wrote another word.
Except that letter.
He wrote, yeah, except that letter. Yeah. I
That-
think a couple of times I may have had his signature on a Christmas or a birthday card, but
Oh, well,
But
you know,
never a
we
letter
didn't
from
have
him,
we
yeah.
didn't have much in the way of phones and stuff. And the only other time I think he wrote them after I'd been in the hospital and had the cancer, and he wrote them immediately about that. But I don't know what else.
sending pictures of the kids and stuff like that.
Oh, well, I did everything.
He did everything else.
Yeah. But
they came out to the ranch, didn't they? After
Oh,
you had
well,
that surgery.
Well, in January 41, I mean, just from September of 40, and then I was back there still working for Mr. Lewis, and and instead of dating, I couldn't date anymore.
Right.
So the high school had night classes, and there was one in law. And my friend Eleanor Pine said, "What in the heck are you taking a course in law for? You should be taking something in cooking."
Well, that's right. Dad had to show you how to boil water when you got married, didn't he?
Oh gosh. So anyway, Mother and Dad, it was I sat up again on the train coming out in January, and he met me at the train, and that's when I arrived on a Friday, and he said, "Well, how about just the next Friday?" And that's what we agreed on. That gave me time.
You had 1 week.
I had 1 week.
1 week to prep for a wedding.
Yeah,
Tell the girls today about that.
1 week.
We start sending bridal information to a year and a half before they're married. You know?
So
And everything you own fit in what? A trunk?
I had one trunk, which I wish I still had. It would really be worth something now. That trunk that my parents had, and just one of the, you've seen those trunks, old trunks. Anyway, everything I had fit in that. But
It's probably about the size of that thing we bought for the camera equipment.
yeah,
Big red thing.
yeah. Oh, well,
We have
it
a
was,
trunk in the barn. We can take pictures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was gifts that people had given me at that time, and
So who
So-
attended the wedding?
oh, yeah. Well, we had the 1 week, and we hadn't even talked about who was going to marry us. Well, I wanted church, and so Vane's sister went to the. It was a Presbyterian church, but it was a little bit different from the one I was raised in a Presbyterian church from the time I was born, and it was a different one anyway. So we went at noon the following Friday, and I have the wedding certificate somewhere around here. And it was just Vane and Louise and Jim and Luann ditched school because they wanted to be there. They were both. And, oh gosh. And I think Ethel, oh gosh, I had a cousin who went to Dartmouth University, but it was like a second cousin or something. Anyway, he and his mother were there.
Aunt Mabel didn't go?
Oh yeah, Mabel and Ramona were there. Oh, and Aunt Lucy and Aunt Belle.
I know,
Oh,
that's
they
why I
wouldn't
was
miss
good.
it for anything.
I didn't think so.
Aunt Lucy was ancient, and yet she had this Model T. She drove all over the place. A Model T. Of course, in those days, that wasn't so old, was it? But she drove that thing everywhere and had it well taken care of so that it got wherever she was going. And they were great. They just,
So you had a wedding party of what, a dozen?
Oh, not even that.
oh, we left right away.
No, I mean
Not
the
even
wedding, not
Oh,
a dozen
yeah.
people. How many
Oh,
people came?
That's right, yeah.
About 12 people.
And then we stopped. That picture, this one, we stopped at just someplace along the road after the
that it?
church. Yeah, we just stopped right and had that taken.
Sort of like the same guy that took this picture,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and then we picked it up the next week. But we just had a weekend. We just had, that was Friday noon, and he had to be back to work Monday, so
Where'd you go for your honeymoon?
Tijuana. We went all
You went
the
to
way,
Tijuana?
and Tijuana was gorgeous. Then it was someone at work had told him about this motel there that was on the beach, and they had this Mexican kind of furniture that Mexican place has over here.
Oh.
That Mexican anyway.
Wicker sort of
well,
stuff?
wicker
or-
and leather.
Wicker and leather, right?
Yeah. And
Coarse, big
and that
wood,
was the
you know.
only time Dad went swimming ever.
Really?
So he had a bathing suit at that time, and we went and lolled on the beach. It was white, beautiful, gorgeous beach, and he introduced me to abalone steak, which was wonderful.